So I wish actually I could tell you the learnings of two things. I'm here to talk about cybersecurity in order to reduce the risk of everybody in this room having their identity stolen or your cryptocurrency stolen or basically just opening the wrong link. But later on, I can also tell you the learnings that I've had in terms of fundraising. I've done 2 seed rounds, I'm raising now, but last year we were raising for our blockchain project 40 million on 100 million network valuation with 30 million in allocation requests with no white paper, no bonus, and no discount, because the people who wanted to buy those, buy into that, were using our products and services. And the point is, there's a massive difference between traditional angels and VCs and people who made money and then decided to invest in cryptocurrency projects. Massive difference, pros and cons. So, a little bit about my background. I worked at AOL back in the 90s and was part of the team that launched AOL Instant Messenger, 56K modem protocol, and a few other technologies. Since then, I'm one of the 7 founders of the Mobile Web Initiative at the W3C, which is the standards body for the World Wide Web, where I was the first person to rewrite Tim Berners-Lee's vision of the One Web. And I'm one of the 2 people that co-instigated the standard for URL categorization. Then I kind of used up all my karma points by having a bunch of patents issued around malware and phishing detection inside mobile applications. So we live in a world where everything is opened or shared with a link, whether it's a news article, a tweet, a link to a Dropbox file, a link to a website, a news article, it's all a link. And we don't just share those links via email. If you look at your mobile device, you're sharing links through Facebook Messenger, email, Slack, Telegram. Pretty much every app on your phone opens a link inside the app web view instead of the native browser. Even companies that use multiple security solutions still have a problem with phishing. They still have a problem with people opening the wrong link, and they're still concerned about it. In the crypto world, unfortunately, a lot of people don't think about this. We have a huge amount of experience working in the crypto world as well as outside the crypto world. We were introduced to crypto in June 2017, when a few companies reached out to us and said, we have this problem with phishing inside Slack, and you're the only company with an integration. Can you come and look at it? And we did. And long story slightly short, we completely eradicated phishing inside Slack in 2017, which is why it's not in the media anymore. So pretty much every crypto company in the world that was on Slack installed Metacert. So it gave us a great understanding working with crypto founding teams, as well as interacting with community members of traders and investors to find out what the unique pain points were and why people were losing so much money. Outside the crypto world, I don't need to show you stats that you can't read, but basically, almost every week we hear about a data breach. In 2016 to 17, 10% of all money raised in ICOs was stolen. In part, that was because of the poor practices of companies running ICOs, getting people conditioned into opening up emails and clicking on links really quickly for special offers, and then also poor practices of individuals when it came to actually sending crypto. This week alone, 2 exchanges were compromised. There are 2 types of exchanges: exchanges that have been compromised and exchanges that will be compromised. So don't hold your crypto assets on an exchange. So I've given you time to read this. If you can read it, by now, over $2,000 has been lost in a scam. I don't know if you can read that. I expected some slightly bigger screens. But basically, I want to make sure that you end up not opening the wrong link. So I'll read this out. 59% of all ransomware attacks originate with phishing. 90% of all data breaches globally, inside and outside crypto, start with phishing. 30% of phishing emails get opened by employees. So I'm going to make this a little bit of interactive. Put your hand up if you look at the padlock in the browser to make sure it's a safe website. Okay. Not a good idea. 93% of all new phishing sites have a padlock. So what my one campaign, my mission in life is to stop everybody from looking at the padlock in the browser toolbar. Do not do that ever again, because you will fall for a phishing scam. I have seen community members or community managers in crypto in a community with 20,000 people say, don't be stupid, don't fall for a phishing scam, look for the padlock and make sure it's our website. So don't look at the padlock. Put your hand up if you check the URL to make sure that you're going to the right website. Come on, those of you that don't have your hand up, you're telling fibs. We all check the URL. Security companies tell people, check the URL. Employers tell employees, check the URL before you open it. But that doesn't work either. I can catch you out every minute of every day. So I've got a challenge here. Most of you will recognize me from earlier on and the piece of paper. What I can tell you is that of all the people who've emailed me so far, I don't think one person has got it right yet. So you have another opportunity here. I'm going to give out a crypto hardware wallet. It's one of the best wallets I've ever seen. MetaCert just happens to be baked into it. It's a credit card size wallet with a Bluetooth secure connection to your smartphone. When you send your crypto, before it actually gets sent, it checks MetaCert. If it's a dangerous wallet address, gives you a big red shield and says, don't do this. So it's the only hardware wallet in the world with anti-phishing, anti-fraud built in, because we have a service for exchanges and wallets to help reduce that problem. So I'm going to give you a test. I'll bypass this demo. Okay, you probably can't see that, so I'll zoom in a little bit. I even printed it off for you to make life easier. Okay, what I'd like to do is to get all of you to stand up if you think it's number 1. Stand up if you think it's number 2, the real website, the real myetherwallet.com. Stand up if you think it's number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You think it's 7? Okay, keep standing. Stand up if you think it's number 8, number 9, number 10. Stand up if you think it's number 10. Very good. No, keep standing. Stand up if you think it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. You stay standing. You're going to feel the pain. You still think it's number 10? Do you still think it's number 10? Okay, it's missing the emoji, which looked pretty cool when it's not on the screen like that. But that A is called a special character. You can sit down now. Thank you very much. You just lost all your crypto. Your kids are not going to college next year. Actually, that happens every day of the week. So blocking is not enough, and telling people to look at the padlock is not good, and telling people to look at the URL is not good enough. And the reason for that is because HTTPS everywhere is an existential threat to the safety of the web. That seems like a moronic thing to say in the eyes of people in the cybersecurity world, but the padlock is used for encryption. It just means when you type your credit card into a website, it means it's encrypted so that nobody can steal it as a third party beside you on the public Wi-Fi. But unfortunately, we've all been conditioned to look for the padlock. Unfortunately, the browsers don't differentiate between that basic SSL certificate and what's called OV and EV certificates, which is where the website owner has actually had their identity verified. And Let's Encrypt certificates, their adoption is like a hockey stick curve, because they're being funded and promoted by most of the big stakeholders in the industry, such as Facebook, Google, Mozilla, Internet Society, Symantec, DigiCert, and lots more. And I think it's because they haven't yet realized and put the 2 and 2 together. 90% of all breaches start with phishing. Cybersecurity is the fastest growing industry sector in the world. Cybersecurity is the fastest growing procurement sector in the US, and we still have a problem with people opening the wrong link in 2019. So we need to have a different approach. We do work on that in a different way, but I'm not here to pitch my products. But what I would say to you is just remember, don't look at the padlock. Don't rely on just looking at the URL. Don't be ashamed for standing up for number 10. Of about 1,000 people that I've asked, 4 people have got it right so far. Mr. Monarch got it right in about 5 seconds. So kudos. With that, I leave you. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Oh, do we have time for questions? Okay, one question. Nobody? I tend to like to just have 1 point per presentation. One of the last blockchain conferences, it was all about 2-factor authentication. And 4 hours after I gave that presentation, my SIM card was hijacked. So if there's anybody in the audience who wants to kind of trick me with anything that I've talked about today, please don't. I'm just too tired.
Paul, thanks for your comments. Very compelling. Can you expand a little bit more about what's wrong with Let's Encrypt and their program and their DV search and kind of connect the dots there for us?
So Let's Encrypt is a nonprofit organization that wants to make a more privacy-respecting web. So they care about the encryption. They want everybody to have a website with an SSL certificate that starts with HTTPS. Well, I'm going to be diplomatic. I don't think they realize that they should care more. They shouldn't be responsible and they shouldn't be held accountable for all of the problems that are happening in the world as a result of malicious links and the fact that they've issued over 20,000 SSL certificates to websites with the term PayPal in it. You'd have thought that after the 5th or 6th or 1,000th, they would realize maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe this is a phishing site. But they don't care about that. They care about an encrypted web. The other certificate authorities who charge for OV and EV certificates, they could make life a little bit easier by reducing the price and reducing the friction to getting them. But then the browsers need to kind of up their ante too, which is why MetaCert has come out with a new shield, which is ignore the padlock, look at the new shield, because you need to know what's really a website that's safe and verified. Because blocking the bad stuff, that's the one thing that we learned in the crypto world in particular. Even though we have 7,500 people reporting links to us as soon as they're found, it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. It's impossible to stay ahead of every attack. So yes, it's important to block the bad stuff, but it's actually more important to know when you're actually on a website that's verified, or a LinkedIn account, or a Twitter account, or a GitHub account. You want to know when it's been verified as safe and not a potential phishing link. So Let's Encrypt, I think they need to change their marketing. They need to promote the fact that it's only encryption and proactively say, do not rely on the padlock for trust. Because one of the things that's going to stop blockchain and crypto from seeing mainstream adoption, in my opinion, ironically, is the lack of trust. Because, you know, Anthony is talking about ICOs being scams, and, you know, a lot of ICOs probably were scams. But unfortunately, people are using the word scam all too often for things that are not scams. It just means somebody's clicked on the wrong link.